thanks for stopping by my channel. I'm Ghost Prime, and I'm super excited to take a look at MPG-09 Super Ginrai. And man, I've been waiting for this for a very long time. And so basically what Ginrai is a character from Super God Master Force, and he's not Optimus Prime. He's not Powermaster Optimus Prime. He is its own character. I do go over this in one of my Powermaster Prime videos or Ginrai videos. I have a couple of the toys. If you want to check those out. I will be comparing this to Powermaster in this video and getting this box open because this is still sealed. I'm super excited. So like and subscribe and all that. And without any further ado, let's get to the review. All right, first we'll get into the package art. And it is a gorgeous package like any Masterpiece, or MPG, I guess, in these cases. Two modes on front. There's Ginrai there. And on the side, we have him in truck mode. And then bot mode. And then on the back, kind of goes over all the different things he comes with, what he can transform into, super robot. And then on the top, we have Transformers MPG-09 Cybertron Commander Super Ginrai. We got some tape over here, so let's get that open. Oh, he looks fantastic. Oh, there's all the accessories. We'll go over these one by one in just a minute. Let's get them out of the package and take a closer look. And in this bag that it comes with, we have stickers and an instruction booklet. Now the stickers are to make it look a little bit more like the toy. So we got some kind of toyetic stickers. I'm not sure why these are put here, maybe because of the logos. These go on his knees and shins right here. And I think these right here are for his chest, the little windows on either side. I don't know if I'll be using these. I usually don't put stickers on them, but I do like the way the toy looks. Here we have his card. It kind of looks like the picture on the Generation 1 box art. We have stats on the back. And the instructions come in a very nice booklet. Instead of a fold-out sheet, it's a booklet, which is actually really, really nice. I like this presentation. All right, here it is all laid out. He comes with a lot of stuff. So first, let's go over Ginrai himself. This is the one that is the engine. No chrome on this one. Really nice looking figure, though. The actual human face, well, at least painted that way. And he has a smaller version of him right there, which I believe this is the getting the bracelets together so he could become Ginrai in the bot form into the transector. He has an extra pair of hands, a part for a stand, but no actual stand, small gun for regular Ginrai, large gun for Super Ginrai, and there they are together. He has two heads, which look like to be slightly different sculpts, but one blue eye and one red, probably for a cartoon and toy, but this has a little bit more detail on it. Power things that are supposed to fit on the small robot fists, and hard plastic. These are extensions for his shoulders that go in place of the side cannons when you're not using them, and these are kind of tiny compared to the original ones. And he has two of these blast effect pieces, which should be able to just peg right into the end of the gun, just like that. Of course, we get the cab. Now, one thing that two things I guess I immediately noticed about this. One, it's heavy. This section here is all metal, which is, well, maybe all metal. Like, it's hard to say because I think it's all one piece. Yeah, that's all metal right there. The whole top piece is all metal. This red doesn't match, which is kind of a shame. Tires are not rubber. They are plastic, but it has some good heft to it. It feels really nice. You got the chrome on the grill, but not on the bumper there for some reason. And then we have him in truck mode. And I think in truck mode, you can see a bit of like wiggle there, which it looks good like this, but I think it just has a bit of wiggle when actually moving around. And I don't think I'm doing anything wrong with that. I don't know. A lot of the complaints right off the bat when pictures just started surfacing of this guy is these arms are super, super, super high. So these would normally be like right there and the arms would end. So now we just put these guns right there and it kind of sort of hides it. But I still think they could have done something to make these arms shorter. I was kind of holding out hope that would look better in person. I mean, it's not bad. I just wish that it would actually be how it should. You know what I mean? I think it should look better. The guns could flip these back like this, and both of them could peg into the back, just like the vintage. But rolling wise, it rolls well, has a really nice turning radius on it, and I think looks the part, looks pretty good. Let's turn it around real quick here so you can see some of the detail on the back. And these actually open up. Now, you can't really put much in there, but it's nice that it's there. I can't get that one open. It's tight. You'll see it. It's just like this one. But you can see that. So I think that's a nice little touch. There is sticker detail to go over this part right here, just to change the Autobot logo. To make it more like the toy. Kind of a weird thing they didn't need to include, but that's okay. It's there. And overall, I think it looks decent as the truck mode. For reference, there is the Generation 1 counterpart. And let's see, back to back. Those are even back to back. And you see it's almost the same size, just a little bit bigger than the Generation 1 counterpart. And here he is with his Generation 1 cab counterpart. So the cab on the Generation 1 is a little taller. And so you go like this. As you can see, it's pretty close in size, kind of all the way around. They are very similar to each other. See, let me get like that. They are very, very similar to each other. And now we'll get this into robot mode. And I've only done this once. So one of the weird things about this is that this is sort of backwards. When it's in, you should be able to transform it. And I don't think I could transform it with it in, because there's a little pin. That's what you see in there, right? So you take this out, and that takes that out, and there's a little button. So now I can transform it when it's out, which is backwards from how it was in the original, originally. But you take his legs, move them back down, flip these on either side, take the whole top part right here, just open that up. This whole section is metal. They went over before, but I think that's really cool. And then you go ahead and lift his head up like that. Get these pieces here out of the way. I'm going to go ahead and move the stacks out, kind of get them out of the way a little bit, because like this part here, this turns and it's snapped in by this. Actually, let me see, move this like that. So I want to move this and move them out like that. And they are tabbed in. So let's move this out like that. There we go. Super tight on mine. And then we're going to take this arm and then take it from here out a little bit and twist and move around and then snap that. So get the arm out and kind of twist it, move it around, snap that together like that. And don't get your finger out. The first time I did this, I got my finger and it hurt. So we're going to go ahead and move these out, move the arms up, move this piece that we just moved out this way, back around and inside there. Both sides. Inside there. Now, while this is exploded like this, stick your finger inside here, or a spludger if you have it, and get out these little tiny waste pieces. That on the standalone MP60 is painted. And those go like that. So turn around. Now we can take the head, which is on a swivel here, turn that all the way around. Take the waist, turn the waist all the way around. And then take this piece, and this piece here, there's a slot You can see at the light, there's a tab and a slot right there. Those just go together on both sides. Go together on both sides like that. Head goes down, you can move the head, or the head base goes down, then the head goes up more appropriately. And then there's a tab right there and a slot in the clear part. And then this comes over the top, and that slots in like that, pretty tightly. Not quite done. So you move these, get the stacks back and moved around. Make sure they're kind of like that. So the top sits kind of flush. Take the arms, move them around and down. The fists are simplistic, like we would find on a mainline figure. So you just open up the top, move the hand around, then close them back. So see that again here, kind of like on a mainline figure. You just open this up. I think Starscream's was like this, similar. Open it up, around, down. I don't necessarily mind it being simple. Feet wise, just take the toes, and mine are stupid tight, and move those up, which it is hollow down there, but I guess it has to be to fit in this way, like that. And then go ahead and stand them up, and I think it does look really nice. This is an issue. If you look, see the back is heavy, so that I don't know if that's on yours, but he can't really stand like this. He has to be like that. You can move his waist down a bit, and actually, if you move his little waist pieces up, move these out, and put them back down, which they stick out to the side like that when you do that. You kind of move them to the forward a little bit and kind of get them to look pretty decent standing there. He's not super big. He's very, very small. So for comparison, here he is with MP10, and he is really, really small. This is, of course, the Ghostbusters version. My other one's put away, but he's tiny. He's not very big. I did think he was going to be bigger. Now, I didn't think he's going to be this big, but I did think he was going to be much bigger when I originally pre-ordered this. Not that I'm mad, but it is kind of off-putting. If I got MP60 to stand alone by himself, he'd be a little prime, basically. Doesn't match this in size whatsoever. But he does match in size with the Generation 1 Powermaster Optimus Prime Ginrai. And yeah, so that's really what they're going for, and you can really tell it's just an updated version of this guy. So one thing he does come with is smaller versions of those larger guns, and they can also do the same thing as the larger ones, where it has I think it's a 5mm post. I haven't tried that, but he can hold them in his hands. The masterpiece style that we're used to. He can hold his hands like so, and he can hold those in both of his hands. And that's kind of cool. He also has these things which I showed earlier, which is lightning. I believe this is one of his attacks in the show, and those attach the same way right inside here. But this thing really shines in articulation quite well. I'm going to take this out just so I don't drop it. As you just saw, his fingers are on a base pin knuckle there. And his head looks up. This one doesn't look down, which is a shame, as you already saw this. But he also has quite the ab crutch on him. He has butterflies. His arms go all the way up. He has biceps, full range of the elbow, swivel at the wrist. His waist also this gets in the way a little bit, but he does do 360 at the waist. Move these out of the way. The legs go out here. He has a swivel there. His legs could even do this on this sort of hinge here to get even more range of motion. And on the front ways, you go kick pretty far. Yeah, so his knees, double jointed, full run of knees. Now his feet are interesting too, because you see, oh, well, they're limited. No, they're not really. You just pull them out, and then you get full up, full to the side, not really anything back, but you get a lot more degree of rotation out of them, and then you just stick them back down, or you could leave them out. He's got, it could be a little taller, but yeah, you get him in some really, really good poses just because of his articulation, which, as you can see, though, it does also make him a little on the fiddly side. Overall, I think, and he could do this. So overall, really good range of motion on this. Really, really cool. I'm glad they did that. I think that's rad. I'll take a quick look at the Ginrai and Ginrai. As you can see, this is the masterpiece, and this is the original. He's a little bit smaller. Turn him around. How they look together. Transformation on this is really just this. It's very similar, I guess. You move the legs back down like this, and then you twist. It's on a little ball joint, the hip, and if I can get it focus, twist, like so. And he has feet. Move down like that, and he's transformed into little Ginrai. He has pretty good articulation, so his legs do go forward. He has his knee, and he has some ankle rocker. He does not have any elbow, but he does have shoulders. So his shoulders can go up a bit, and he can point out. If I get him to stand, there we go. There he is with the original one. And here they are close up, the vintage and the masterpiece. The masterpiece got a lot of little detail on there. Really cool. Now, of course, there is the MPG. The masterpiece one is a little different, as it's colored more like this one, where it doesn't have the face painted a flesh tone. But I think it's neat how he has the knees that look like the pins. And we're going to start with the trailer here, and we're going to do base mode before we do the robot mode. Most of it's the same anyhow. We're going to start taking these panels, and they are tabbed into the arms, and just move those around. Make sure you pull it from the middle, not either side. They do flex. Move those around. That'll free up the arm, as you can see there. And then, so all of this is pretty much tabbed in. So we're going to take these and untab those on either side. That will free up a lot of this stuff. And then these get pulled out like this, pull them down a little bit, and pull them down. So out and down, like that. It just kind of detaches everything. And then this piece here, which are tabbed in there. So for now, this piece here is flapping. Go ahead and just move that up there. Take these pieces here on either side, move them, and they fit. This one fits nice and flush. On this side, mine does not. So you take it, move it in, and it doesn't want to sit super flush. Doesn't want to stay at all. But that's, I guess, just the way it is. Go ahead and tab those down together like so. These pieces here, move them out. They are tabbed. That tab's so tight. There we go. Take this piece, move this up. Take this piece on the end. Then you move that all the way around. Then this comes down, and it should, there we go, like that. Fit in just like that. Now, normally for robot mode, we would just keep it up like so. I think we keep it flat for base mode. The arms come, move like that, out. You can face them this direction, up, like so. And then we're going to take normally these go up all the way. Let's move these up, around like this. Attach them here. I believe these stay attached. So now we're going to take the legs, move the hip skirts out, like that. Hip skirt out. That. Take the feet, rotate them like that's like you would in robot mode. So then this whole back piece here comes out. You tab these down, out, and then this piece flat. It sits on it like so. So we move this like this. You can see it's starting to come together now. Open this piece here like the original, and a ramp comes down. Do that for the other side as well. Up, Ramp comes down. Of course, we're almost there. Take the double-barreled guns, and there is a port right there on either side. Stick those in. Make sure the peg is out on the larger guns. I think these just go right there. I guess technically you could move these and put them up on the top too. But there we have base mode. And it looks like the original base mode quite a bit, actually. You get some paint work that shows up on the bottom here, the little Autobot logo there. Otherwise, it's basically bare plastic. I think there's a little bit of yellow paint or gold paint right there on the ramps. But that is the base mode. Now, getting this back to the robot mode part is pretty simple. We're going to take these off. A lot of it is just the reverse of what we did. So for this back part, for the robot mode, the back part goes up and stays in here. This piece comes down, and there are some tabs that I could tab into right there. Arms come down. Head comes up, out like so. Then we're going to take the fists out. So I'll show you how to do that. Move so the elbows are up like this. And then we just open this up. And we got to open this one up too. And that swings the fist around. One thing I do want to note about the fist, see how the fingers are? There is, since there's a peg hole, I don't know if you can see it, there's the plastic goes in. So this hand, when it sits in there, it actually has to go around that peg hole, essentially, the inside of the peg hole. So you have to have the hand in this position right here. But we move his fist around, up, snaps together. Same for the other side. And for the sake of time, I transformed him off camera back to truck mode. So there's a few things to note here when transforming this into the chest piece that fits into him. And it's very important, and that's where these break. As you see, they are supposed to be a tab there. You can see that where that tab is missing right there. These should have been metal. What you're going to want to do first, you want to be very careful. Actually, I'm going to put the camera down a little bit. Easier on the arms. So these part of the knees here are snapped in. And as you can see right in there, there's a tab that fits there. So this part has to stay straight. These, I mean, you can move it, but are hard to get unsnapped. Now this is okay. This isn't going to break it. It's scary no matter what. And once you get this tabbed in, do not adjust the knees. That's how I broke. I did this a bunch of times without this breaking, but these knees right here are so tight that just a little bit could just break that off. And I really hope I don't do it again. So what we really need is make sure that these tabs are in those slots to make sure that this is flat. And you can kind of push this together if you want, but honestly, it doesn't matter as long as you're careful. So these need to be even and flat in there. And then kind of finagle it. You got to kind of look where it's at, and then it'll go in. So make sure that these are even. Okay, so I think that looks good, and I hope this works. Okay, so on the top here, we have, these are for the smokestacks. These are for, I think, the hinges, and there's some slots too. So we have to pull this back, kind of fit them in there. Let's see if I can do this on camera without breaking anything. So make sure the wheels fit in there, and it should just slide right in. There are tabs there that slot there. Pull it back a little bit. Let's move these out of the way. Okay, got the back end, push it down, and I got it seated. So see, it's supposed to be nice and even. Then this piece kind of did it itself, but this piece goes over that. They have the little blue piece there. Looks like the G1 toy. Go ahead and move these back. These always get caught on the feet for me. And then, kind of like you do on Powermaster, is you move the head down between the legs, and that snaps right in there. But you can see, it's annoying. You can get it straight, but it's annoying. So you go ahead and just turn the head around, and then kind of wiggle things around to make sure that this gets straight. There you go. Just kind of wiggle this in this. The plastic flexes a bit, and I got it so it sits. Okay, once you press it all in and get it all nice, it will stay. And you can move the head around, and it stays okay without popping out. But it's kind of a chore to get there. One thing it does have for the shoulders, as I showed earlier, these two little pieces here, and they go on the shoulder like that. And that extends the look, kind of the way he was in the Master Force animation when he didn't have the giant cannons on the side. He had the big shoulders that look like that. And I think that looks okay. I think it's a nice compromise, not having it all folding out or anything like that. I don't mind it being partsy. So to get the head off, you just pull forward. Pretty simple like that. And he has different heads. So I showed you the two. Those two blue-eyed and a red-eyed. And they just slide on like so. This does come off really easy. I wish it stayed clicked on a little better. But that's how that one looks. And I think all the heads, they kind of have their different purposes, but I think they all look really nice. The hands can pop off as well, which I don't really need to show it. It just kind of pops off like that, slides in, and it's just blue. The only real difference is, you can see right here, is that it's all blue, where these have the red fingers. Articulation's exactly the same. As for his shoulder cannons, you can put them in the holes right here. And he will also hold his cannons in his hand. But this one's kind of weird, so I don't know if we can get in there. There's this right there, and that actually moves. So if you close his hand too much, it pops it out. So let's move his thumb open. We'll go ahead. It's the same sort of style we're accustomed to with the pegs slot system, and we just peg that in, and see, it kind of moves. That's really weird, but it's how it does. He's curled the fingers over, and you can make the finger out a little bit. The thumb, and he has his gun. Now, one thing about this, I had to tighten this because this was super loose. And we couldn't even hold his gun in this hand. It would just fall down. But I tightened the little screw here, and it's much, much better. But there he is. He does have pegs right here that on his other guns, or these ones if you'd like, just move that down like that. And you could just peg it on kind of like that, which I guess is a neat way to do it. And on his back, there's also holes there. So these could just be mounted on his back. So he doesn't have to have a crap ton of parts, right, all over the place. So let's stand up a little bit more, and we'll get into some comparisons real fast. Ooh, fell off. Here he is with Generation 1 Super Ginrai. Get an idea of just how this one mimics the toy. Of course, the sticker detail isn't here like it is there, so you can do that if you so desire and make this look a bit more like the toy. But what would really set this off in my eyes would be chrome here. This would have been really cool to be all chromed up, all these pieces like it is on the original one. I think that would have set it off really cool, but I love chrome, so I may be kind of biased on that. And here he is with the Powermaster. So you see, Powermaster's a giant next to him. Absolute giant. He's huge. But I think they kind of feel differently to me. Powermaster feels more like the box art. Of course, I know it's very stylized and different entirely. But this, to me, feels more like the box art, to where he's super chunky and where he's more lean like the cartoon would be. So that's how those two go together. Honestly, I don't think these two are even very comparable because they're nothing really alike. It's the same sort of figure, same sort of design, but this one takes a much more stylized approach, and it's kind of its own thing, where this one really tries to mimic the cartoon, and this one didn't try any of that. And moving on to articulation. His head moves side to side, up and down a little bit. Can't really look up too much, but he can look down There's a hinge that pops up right there, so he can look down, which is a nice touch. These little pieces move up, kind of like that, and like that. So he gets, move his head, I guess he can do decently with his arms there. He has a bicep swivel. Not quite the full run on his elbows, as I think he could have, but they didn't do it. His hands, 360, and he has out, in, thumb, up and down. That's all that does. His fingers right here have two different, so all three here have two different points of articulation. He has one at the base and one knuckles, where the knuckles there are pinned together. And then he has an individual index finger. So he does have a waist swivel, which is ratcheted, and ab crunch, which is nice to have on a figure of this size. His hip skirts do go up to allow for the range of motion with his legs. Again, ratcheted, and doesn't go too far back because of the massive backpack. He has thigh swivel, which is really tight, and the knee could do a really kind of impressive knee there for a figure of his size. You can hear all the ratcheting too, which is just awesome. I love to hear that. His feet, though, are limited to just that. Oh, there we go. It's a little hard. Maybe that. So it's got a decent rocker. No up and down movement unless you want to move the whole thing, which I don't know if that counts. But overall, I think it has a decent range of articulation. Them choosing to have the feet under this part here like this is interesting to me because it looked weird, but I think it still kind of works. All things considered, I definitely think it works. I mean, he's pretty stable on his feet. I don't have a problem with this thing falling over or anything like that. So I understand why they actually did it this way instead of having these whole pieces kind of rotate. And let's get into some final thoughts on him. So basically what this comes down to, is this worth the asking price for the size? It is quite expensive for a figure of this size. It's a lot smaller than I think a lot of people really expected when it comes to this guy, myself included. But I do think that he is the right size for Super Ginrai. Maybe not for Ginrai himself. I think that's a little small. But scale was a weird thing in the cartoons. So there's that. I'm willing to let that slide and see where we go if we get any Carbots, like actual ones. If we get a Jazz that's this big, I'm going to be pretty upset. As for this, I like this figure. I think it's really cool. He's got really good articulation. He looks pretty fantastic. I think the sculpt trick on it really shows through. There are a couple engineering problems. One is this whole section where you put the cab in, and that's unfortunate, especially with those little tabs that break. That sucks. Actually, that sucks a lot because for on a figure this pricey, this is a really pricey figure. But I mean, as you can see, he's a great figure. It poses really, really super well. Lots of nice paint work. I did forget to mention that he has butterfly shoulders. The attention to detail on it's really nice. Let me know what you think about him in the comments. Are you going to be picking one of these up? Did you already? Did you break it? Anyway, I'll talk to you in the next review.